We're going to be going to Goodwood Festival of Speed this year, and behind me, this G80 M3 is going to be joining us alongside the R8 and the M2. But at the moment, this is far too stock to be sat alongside them. And here we've got a load of premium mods that are going to be going on the car today. Bar one, which I ordered on AliExpress. We've also produced the best spoiler ever created for a G80.
Bro, where's your even jury?
On that table, it's going straight in there today. As the cars are sat in PPF, had to go for the satin. Even juries look insane. We've then also got this Apple-like MSS suspension kit, which is just absolutely gorgeous when you unpack it. It's going to really improve the ride. And we get that full adjustability that I've been looking for.
How long have you been looking for that?
A long time. Kai's going to get straight on with the even cherry as that's a bit more involved, and me and Numpty behind the camera are going to crack on with the rear spoiler and the AliExpress lights.
Here's Numpty behind the camera, by the way. That was Numpty. Sam, it's been 2 months, 2 weeks.
2 months?
It's been 2 weeks since we've done your M140. Do you like it?
Yes, love it.
Sam is now a YouTube sensation with 120k views on YouTube.
I have had, I think, what, it was 4 people now stop me for a signature. So,
yeah, life's different now, isn't it?
It is different. Obviously, yep. I feel like I've outgrown this place a little bit now. So
I hear it.
Probably have to just, you know, move on to something.
No,
just make
that
what
makes sense.
He said you've had offers from Apple, was
Apple,
it?
Yeah.
Google,
Jobs
Steve Jobs. Oh, he come back and...
Yeah, he come back alive. And thanks very much, everyone and the guys for sorting it, because it was a brilliant project.
Hey, nice one. We're going to wrap
one.
it fucking pink next.
Start off with the rear spoiler. It's going to be really easy to install because, handily, the stock spoiler's already been removed, which is why you can see the glossy black sapphire paint below. So today, all I'm going to have to do is prep it with some adhesive promoter, pop the spoiler down, and job's a good one. So I wouldn't normally go as far as this, but because this has got a satin PPF finish, the adhesive promoter can actually leave like a bit of residue on the paint. So I'm just going to tape it up so I know my boundaries on where not to put adhesive promoter. So what I'm doing here is just peeling back the backing on the 3M just a smidge so I can get to it. Bit techie here because you had to cut around the sticker, so I peeled them one back and that one. And then on this end as well, I'm just going to do the same, so I peel that one off at the end. So I'm lining it up. I'm going to take this tape off now. Key thing here is we need to get this middle one out first, because otherwise we'll never get that 3M backing off in the middle. As I said, I'm going to take this one out because this is in the middle. Oh, that's all right. This might be the gammiest I've ever installed a spoiler. It's literally hanging off the back.
Are you restarting it?
That ain't coming off for
So Jack's just tried to fit the spoiler and completely it all up. Nice.
some
And he also called me a numpty. Last spoiler I fit perfectly on Sam's car.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
You're making a right meal out of this now, Jack.
Right, so I've removed the tape out of the way just because it was getting in the way of me trying to line this up. But let's now get her lined up again. Lovely stuff. I've never messed one of them up as well. That's literally perfect, 100% ratio, fit the spoilers. Right, next up we are doing the brake lights. I've not actually installed a set of these before. Nath, you have?
Yeah, so
what do we
I
do?
had a set of CSL AliExpress brake lights on my G80 M3 and they melted in the sunlight, so...
That's exactly what I said they would do as well.
Yeah.
I do have to caveat this, I've been a bit of a hypocrite because I like ripped Nathan for getting them lights and then I see him for the G80 and I was like, they look really good.
Yeah,
So,
right, do an ASMR with that. That is proper. How you actually install this, Jack? So I'm going to show you and then you're going to do it.
Yeah, tools in the boot already, look.
So obviously you've got 2 parts of the brake light, one bit here, one bit there. You need to remove all of that, so the pop clips behind there's another pop clip. And then inside here you've got sort of 2 pillars. You haven't got to take this full thing off, you can undo the clips and then pull it just to gain access to get your hand in. Then you've got 2 bolts on each light.
This one's got 3.
3 bolts on this side one then. But I'm not sure if I'm going to like them or not.
Really?
Yeah, because the CSL, like on my one, was a genuine, like,
I know.
It looks like a CSL, whereas this is like made up, innit?
It's made up. Well, we're going to
see
find out. We'll find out. We'll find out.
Let's go.
To the side. Yeah, there you go. Oh, that's much better. And they're tinted, you can see the tint now.
Right, side
You're starting to
bits now.
believe in the vision?
No, not yet. Well, that's all done. We need to remove this trim here, which Jack is currently removing, and then we've got 3 bolts to remove the OEM light. Right, now we've got access to these 2, and then we've just got 1 more bolt on the inside. So you're gonna do these ones now?
Let's do that.
So this light is now out. We're gonna get the new one clipped in. Up. Hopefully it fits. Yes, it does fit.
No! I knew that was going to happen.
What happened?
Fucking bolt.
Oh, did you drop a bolt?
Yeah.
Oh, that's quite funny actually.
Why is that funny?
Because I just dropped my bolt
How?
at the same time.
Where's the magnetic thing? I bet these ain't. I bet they used aluminium bolts as well.
So me and Jack both successfully just dropped bolts inside the car. But luckily, after about 4 hours fishing with this, we managed to get them out. So now we're gonna crack on back getting the lights fitted in the boot. Right, moment of truth then, Jack. Go on. I think at night it would look good.
I mean, you guys let us know what you think in the comments. Have I seriously f***ed up here, or do you think it looks good? Right, in the space of time it took me and Nathan to fit a rear spoiler and some lights, Kai managed to fit an entire E Venturi intake, and wow.
Yeah, that looks a lot better, doesn't it?
The matte looks the nuts. So what I'm thinking now is a matte engine cover and then a gloss carbon strut brace. What do we think? That'll mix it up a little bit of contrasting carbon-y bits. 93% of you are not subscribed to our YouTube channel that are watching this video, and Nathan has just been paid £2 because we're doing £1 a subscriber. So get subscribing to make me broke. Now that the other components are on, we're going to do the MSS suspension. This has got the MSS standard spring setup, which essentially means you've got the dual springs at the back. So comfort spring, kind of track road spring, and then on the front you've got a standard sort of progressive spring. This differs from the hybrid because on the hybrid you've got the twin spring setup at the front as well. But if you want to find out a little bit more about that, drop our team a message because it's a little bit technical for this video. We have just had another prototype product turn up, so I'm going to show you that right now. This is our new 3D printed development piece. So this is a front splitter. It's a 3-piece front splitter for the G80, G81, G82, etc. And we are super excited to get this in your guys' hands. This is essentially a CSL inspired design, which we've kind of molded and adapted to make it more aggressive. We've got rid of the winglets because what's popular now, particularly on these cars, is the flat side skirts down the side. So we've kind of carried that design through here, which you can see. You've got this kind of aggressive streak which follows on through the front bumper, which you'll see. And then it's also 3-piece as well. So if you knock this edge, you can take it apart, pop it out. But crucially, in terms of how we've designed it, you can see there's bolts, there's clips, there's everything all over this. This is a very structurally sound splitter. We've tried to make this the strongest splitter on the market. And then this is what it's going to look like on the car.
Jack's now gone into a meeting, so I have taken over. Here is the TRE CSL splitter. We're going to be swapping that out and testing the new 3D printed TRE splitter. As you've seen in the renders, this new splitter is super aggressive, going to be a more aggressive version of this, and I'm very excited to get it on. The reason why it's 3D printed is we design the splitters, everything's made in CAD design. After that, we then 3D print our parts and we test fitment essentially with 3D printed before committing to going full aluminium mold and making them all in carbon. We just have to test them in 3D printed. So fingers crossed, if we've done our jobs properly, when we test this with the 3D printed part, it should fit very nice. And that means we can push the carbon stuff into production and get this splitter going straight away. Anyway, enough talking, let's get this fitted to the car now. She's off.
Relief, I'm
Yes.
so happy with that. It looks so good. We've been working on this for a little while and it's just like to finally see it in person is really good. I don't want to go into too much detail now because when the final thing is done, we'll go into it. But yeah, rest assured, I'm super happy. We should hopefully have a production version of this within the next 4 to 5 weeks. So you join us the very next day and the car is now done and I'm going to be able to take this out for a proper drive in a second. But before we do that, let's have a little walk around the car and go over some of the parts that we fitted. So the elephant in the room at the moment is the suspension, because obviously you're going to say to me, Jack, you just lowered the car and it looks higher, and completely and utterly agree. We need to adjust this height of this suspension because the rear's not as low as it can go and the front has still got a bit more to settle. The key thing to note as well was that it was only ever going to be a subtle change in height. We didn't change this suspension to change the ride height dramatically. The MSS Sport suspension kit only drops by 25mm. If you want to drop any lower, you need to go for the hybrid because that'll get you a 50mm lowering on the front as well. With this, it's just 25mm, and we had the eye-back springs already and they were dropped by 20mm. So it was never going to be a dramatic change. The difference is going to be in the drive, which we'll go on to in a minute. Up front, we have got the Venturi. Looks absolutely stunning. I'm sure it's going to sound insane as well. It's going to be really noticeable because we don't have an exhaust on the car. I'm going to come on to that very soon because we've been developing the single mid pipe that you see for the M2 for the M3s and the M4s now. So that's going to be on the car very, very shortly. But yeah, in the meantime, engine bay is looking a lot better. We're going to get a matte carbon engine cover and I'm going to try and get a gloss carbon strut brace. So it's going to kind of light up the engine bay. Super happy with that so far. Let's head round to the back of the car, which is arguably the best angle, especially now we have the spoiler designed by yours truly. I will take a lot of credit for this, but obviously there's a lot smarter engineers that have been doing some work behind the scenes as well. However, let's look at the design philosophy. So this has got this kind of CS double bubble style design here, but the key thing I wanted to integrate was, number one, this line from like the boot lid, which kind of carries up through here, but then also these points go directly in line with the streaks that you've got along the carbon roof. So if you're a little bit OCD and you want everything to line up, this is essentially the perfect spoiler. Good thing as well, because these are all made using CNC'd aluminium molds, the fitment on them is absolutely perfect. All these lines along here are exactly where you want them to be. If you've got a professional installer like myself as well, we're going to get the gaps on each side exactly right. Just, yeah, honestly, if you've got a G80, this is the spoiler to go for. And better news for you G82 M4 owners, we've made the exact same spoiler for the M4, which carries the same lines over, all of that sort of stuff. So yeah, you've not been left out either. We are giving you guys some love as well. And if you like the look of this spoiler, it's now available to purchase on our website. This was the risky thing, the brake lights, and I think they look good in practice. We have noticed some special AliExpress style characteristics, should we say. So when we lock it, they all go off at different times depending on what day of the week it is, it seems. So if let's try again. Oh yeah, they all just, oh, there you go. So, I mean, they look good. Let's see how long they last. Also, we are aware that the fitment on the wheels is pretty shocking at the minute. That's because we took the HREs off these, put them on the M2 for the track day, but the HRE is going to be going back on this because we've got new wheels coming for the M2, and there's a load more coming with the M2 soon. I cannot wait to share with you guys. Let's give our thoughts and impressions on this. So we are familiar with the MSS suspension. Obviously I've run it on my G87, I've run this car on standard springs and I-back, and I think the main thing to talk about here is there a ride quality between the hybrid, the standard system we have on here, and then obviously OEM. I think immediately after getting into this car from the stock suspension, it just feels a little bit more compliant over the bumps. The country roads I'm on at the moment, the actual road surface is diabolical. But yeah, straight away it feels.
Oh my god!
That's the largest pothole I've ever seen.
What the f was that?
That is insane. Yeah, it feels a lot more compliant. I do notice that there might be a little bit more road noise, but I don't know if that's just because the tyres are on or if I've jumped out of one of the other cars and I'm sort of changing them, but it does feel like that. Let's turn that here, see where we go. Let's have a listen for that Eventura as well. After getting in this car out of the M2 is you can just put your foot down. It's really weird, but you don't feel any hesitation, traction. The sort of front wheels just pull you straight out of corners. Oh, you can notice the intake massively. I think it helps that this ain't running exhaust, but genuinely you just hear it's like it's, yeah, it sounds so good. That has to be a must-do mod. For a G80 owner, mate, it's got to be. Yeah, and the suspension feels so much better at speed now. It's sort of just, there's no skipping along the road. The sort of rear wheels just sit, particularly the rear, like on the rear, the car just feels a lot more planted. It's got a lot more traction. It's like there's just making contact with the road more often. Skipping. Yeah, the intake just seems to maybe allow the engine to be picking up power a bit earlier, particularly now because you're kind of short shifting, so you notice it a lot more. I think top end you might not notice it as much, but particularly low down in the rev range you notice the intake, just allowing the car to breathe a bit quicker. The main thing is the noise though, it just sounds so much better. It kind of always surprises you when you jump in these MSS cars. You kind of, it baffles the mind that you're lowering the car, which inherently normally makes the car stiffer, more uncomfortable, but you lower it and the ride quality improves. It's really, really weird. It's a very odd sensation. So a bit earlier on in the video I mentioned the Road to Goodwood Festival of Speed, and this is basically going to be part of a bit of a mini-series from now going forward, because we've got to get this car ready for Goodwood, we've got to get the G80 M3 ready for Goodwood, and also the R8. So next week there's going to be a load of content on the R8, which obviously hasn't been on the channel in a while. And then we're going to have a couple of weeks of R8 content, which is going to be really good to catch up on that. Nathan's going to obviously be super excited, as he's been waiting for that for a long time.
Ages.
A long time. So that's coming, that's back to the channel next week. And then also a couple of weeks later there are some major changes coming for the G80. When I say major, I genuinely am not trying to gaslight. Major changes coming for the M2 as well, which I cannot wait for. I've been dying to get out onto the channel. But then there's still a lot more coming for this. I mentioned the exhaust system. We've developed a fully bespoke system for the G80 in partnership with Miltech, which is going to be coming very, very soon. So loads more stuff coming to the channel. But yeah, that kind of wraps up this video this week, guys, to be fair. There's not too much more for us to cover off, but if you did enjoy this video, if you are going to enjoy this road to Goodwood, please do subscribe, because there is going to be a load of stuff that's going to be fresh content, and you're going to be able to then go and see the cars that we're building on this channel in person in Goodwood this year. So it's going to be well worth following it for that. But yeah, that'll be it, guys. Thank you, and we'll see you next week.